If you're helping an aging parent and you don't know where their important information is, their medications, doctors, insurance, or documents, this video will help you get oriented. One of the most overwhelming parts of caregiving is not knowing where things are when you need them. So today I'm going to walk you through the main categories of information to gather and a simple, realistic way to organize them. Hi, I'm Stacy, and welcome to the Aging Parent Guide. I work in healthcare, and I've also spent many years helping my own family navigate aging, medical systems, and big changes. And one of the things that has made the biggest difference for me and for the families I've worked with is having important information in one place. Because when things are easier to find, everything feels a little less heavy. So today, I want to walk you through what information is actually helpful to gather and how to organize it in a simple, realistic way. Before we go into documents, I want to say this clearly. You do not need to gather all of this at once. You don't need a perfect system, and you don't need to do this alone. Even one category makes a real difference. This is about creating clarity, not control. When information is scattered, every appointment feels harder. Every hospital visit is stressful. Every phone call turns into a search. Organizing information doesn't prevent change, but it reduces chaos. It gives you something solid to stand on when things feel uncertain. One of the reasons organizing information matters so much is that most caregiving support doesn't happen in calm moments. It happens when someone is tired or sick or in the emergency room or overwhelmed. And in those moments, you're often asked questions quickly. What medications are they on? Who is their doctor? Do they have any medical history? What insurance do they have? When that information lives only in your head or in piles of paper, it adds stress to the moments that are already heavy. Having things written down doesn't just save time, it protects your nervous system. It means you don't have to hold everything, and that's one of the kindest things you can do for yourself in this role. The first and most helpful category to organize is medical information. This includes things like current diagnoses and conditions, medication list with doses, allergies, primary care provider and specialists, recent hospitalizations or procedures, pharmacy information, and insurance cards. This is the information you are asked for again and again. Having it in one place saves time and energy. The second category is legal documents. These don't mean decisions have to be made today. They simply tell you what already exists. Things like power of attorney, healthcare proxy or advance directive, living will or trust, and guardianship documents if they apply. If these exist, knowing where they are matters. If they don't, that matters too. This category is about awareness. The third category is financial and insurance information. You don't need every statement. You're looking for a clear picture. Things like Medicare and supplemental plans, long-term care insurance, prescription coverage, Social Security or pension information, main bank accounts, where bills are paid from, and who to contact. This helps you support logistics without guessing. The fourth category is one people often forget, but it's incredibly important: personal and practical details. Things like emergency contacts, preferred hospital, religious or cultural preferences, routines and daily needs, pet care information, location of important items, digital information like email or phone access. These are the details that make care more human and less chaotic. There are also a few things people don't always think to include, but that often becomes really important. Things like a current medication list that's actually updated, a list of past surgeries or major hospitalizations, who their preferred hospital or clinic is, which doctors manage which conditions, and who else is involved in their care. Another big one is digital information. Many systems now live online. Patient portals, insurance logins, pharmacies, emails. You don't need to collect passwords today, but it helps to at least know where it exists because caregiving now happens both in real life and online. Organizing all this information does not need to be fancy. What matters is that it's accessible, understandable, and shareable if needed. Some people use a simple binder, a folder system, a notebook, or a secure digital document. The best system is the one that you will actually use. Label sections, keep copies of key documents, store it somewhere you can get to. If this feels like a lot, start with just one thing. Instead of thinking, I need to organize everything, try thinking, what would make the next appointment easier? For example, your first small step might just be writing down medications, listing doctors, or taking photos of insurance cards. That's it. Then maybe another day you add one more piece. Caregiving organization works best when it grows slowly. Small beginnings count. You are not behind. Once something is gathered, it helps to update the information occasionally, maybe once every few months or after major appointments. Ask, does anything need to be updated? Is this still accurate? Do I know where this is? This keeps the system alive. Sometimes the hardest part of organizing information isn't the paperwork, it's the conversation. If your parent feels hesitant, private, or defensive, that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Often it helps to frame this as support, not preparation for something bad. You might say, I want things to feel easier for both of us, or I don't want to scramble in case something happens. I want to make sure I can support you the way that you want. This is about support, not control. Organizing information won't solve everything, but it often makes everything steadier. Clarity reduces stress, and small clarity adds up. In the next video, we're going to talk about another difficult but important part of this stage of life. How to start hard conversations about safety, independence, and change. And how to approach them in a way that protects care and dignity. If you're helping an aging parent, you're not alone here. If you want to continue these conversations, you can subscribe to the Aging Parent Guide. And if you feel comfortable, you're always welcome to share what you're navigating in the comments. This is meant to be a safe space. See you next time.